So I've been doing a lot of gear reviews lately, so I thought I'll switch gears a little bit. That didn't come out right. So I thought I'll talk about something a little different today, and that is how to take better photos, and more specifically, how to take better travel photos. And now travel photos can mean many things. It could be landscapes or architectures, or it could be portraits or street photography. And I know there are like hundreds of other tutorials on YouTube about how to take better photos and how to use your camera. But today I thought I'll focus a little more on the artistic side of photography. You see, with all these gear reviews about which camera to buy and how many megapixels and focusing points and ISO range and dynamic range, it's very easy to lose the sight of why we do photography and why we like to take photos. And photography is such a unique activity in a way that you have to be very technical, and you have to understand your gears, and you have to know how to use your camera, and you have to learn how to use these softwares to edit your photos. But then at the same time, you're creating art, so things can be very subjective time to time, and also it can be very hard to figure out what's right and wrong and what people would like. So today I put together 5 tips that you can use to take better travel photos. And today I'm not even going to talk about any gear, and as a matter of fact, I'll show you some of my old photos that I've taken over 10 years ago with my cell phones and point and shoot cameras. Not because they're great photos, but I just wanted to show you guys that you can take great photos with pretty much any cameras, and if you have a camera, you can take better photos than I did. So here we go. Tip number 1, look for compositions, not landmarks. So when people are traveling and visiting places and landmarks like the Statue of Liberty in New York or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, most people do the same thing. They just kind of mindlessly point their camera or their smartphones at the subject and click the shutter or take selfies. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you obviously want your photos to stand out from everyone else's. So next time you visit these places, try to see things from different perspectives. Try to come up with different interesting positions and angles to take photos from that not a lot of people would. You know, if you can find an interesting composition, you don't even always need an interesting story to go with it, or even an interesting subject. You know, this isn't just a tip for taking better photos. This is actually a great practice to develop your eye, to see things differently, and think about the rule of thirds, or the symmetry, or where the focal point should be, or the movement. Not just the movement of the subject, but also think about where the viewer's eyes should go when they look at your images. You know, don't just think about what you're looking at. See the shapes of the buildings, the lines, surfaces, textures, the scale, and the shadows. This takes a bit of practice until you can do it without thinking, but for most beginners, this should be a good starting point. Tip number 2. See with your eyes, not with your brain. Let me explain that one a little bit. So most people are not very good at drawing, and that's not because most people are just not capable of moving their arms certain ways, or because their brains are just structured differently, but it's because most people haven't trained their eyes to see the world properly. When most people see the world, when most people see an object or a person, they don't really pay attention to what they really look like, but they see an idea of the object, or they see an idea of the person. Let me show you an example. So when most people are asked to draw a flower, they do this. Right? Can you see that? That's how most people draw flowers. And what about when you ask them to draw a person? They do this. But if you think about it, there is no flower in the world that looks like this, and there's no human being in the world that looks like this. But this is what most people do, because they never really paid attention to what a flower really looks like or what a person really looks like. I mean, obviously practice is a different matter, but until they actually learn how to see the world, this is what you're gonna get. So kind of as an addendum to the point I just made before, don't just mindlessly point the camera to the subject and take a picture. Come up with different interesting ways and try to capture the essence of what makes the subject interesting and what makes the person who they are. You know, pay attention to where their eyes are looking at. Pay attention to their body language. Pay attention to which way they're moving. Pay attention to their facial expressions and their emotions. And that's what's really going to set you apart as a photographer from picture takers. Tip number 3. Find a story. So I said if you can find interesting compositions, you don't really need an interesting story to go with it. But on the opposite end of that, if you can find an interesting story or a really interesting subject, then you can worry a little less about your composition. I mean, obviously having a good composition is important, and if you have a great composition and a great subject and a great story, then that's perfect. But when you have a really interesting subject, then you don't really need a fancy technique to bring the viewer's attention to the subject. And this is what travel is all about, just seeing and experiencing things that you normally don't. Just as you're walking around, pay attention to your surroundings. Don't just focus too much on whatever you're trying to get to. Just look around and see the surroundings and pay attention to the people, and look for an oddity and look for something unusual and something that you would not see wherever you're from. You see, your technique and your composition will come with time and practice, but being a good photographer is also about just simply paying attention and finding things that other people wouldn't. Tip number 4. Take more photos than you need, but make them all count. So like I just mentioned a moment ago, whenever you see something remotely interesting, just take a photo. And I'm not saying that you should take pictures of literally everything you see, but when you do find something interesting, just take more photos than you think you need, and take photos from different angles like high and low, left and right, and even from one position. Just take a few photos just in case you missed focus, or maybe your hand moved too much, or maybe the subject moved, because when you're doing travel photography, by definition, you're visiting a place that you normally wouldn't. So when you find something interesting, just take a lot more photos than you think you need. Take a look at this photo, for example. I took this photo last week, and I just quickly took this photo as I was walking down the street, and it's an interesting subject, but in terms of composition, this is not a great photo because I want this monk to be the big focal point here. But on the left side here, there's this big signage that's also kind of competing for attention, and they're visually about the same size. And the big circle is like almost touching his head, but not really. So if I just simply took more photos, I might have captured that moment where his head was more overlapping on the sign. And I think that would have been a much better photo. But because I didn't, there's nothing I can do about it now. And there's this photo. This is a much older photo. And again, kind of an interesting subject, but bad execution. And first of all, I missed focus on her face, and I was being too shy and I didn't want her to notice me, so I just quickly grabbed a photo and walked away. But if I just stayed there for a little while, and maybe if I actually talked to her, I probably would have been able to get a better photo. And I also don't like how there's this guy's leg over here. And overall, it's also a very busy image, and there's nothing that draws your eyes into her. But then again, this is the only photo that I took, so nothing I can do about it. So for travel photography, having more options is extremely important, because it's very likely that you're not going to visit the same place again in a very long time. And even if you do, the person that you took a photo of may not be there the next time. And if you're shooting landscapes, the weather might be different. So when you're traveling, always take more photos than you think you need. Number 5, too shy, so are they. So as a beginner photographer, and especially travel and street photographer, the hardest thing that you might face is taking photos of strangers or even talking to them. There are many different opinions about street photography. You can just kind of be more stealthy and take photos when they're not looking, or you could actually just walk up to them and politely ask them for their permission. And there's really no right or wrong answers for this, but it can be very difficult because you never know how the person's going to react. But there's a good way to practice this, and that is to go to a place or an event where people actually want you to take their photos. Comic-Con is a great example, where pretty much everyone dresses up as someone they're not, and people put a lot of work into their costumes. And at places like that, you actually have a reason to take pictures of strangers. So you can pretty much walk up to anybody you see and ask them if you can take a picture of them, or pose them even. And this might not be a great representation of how people might react in the real world, but at least you can practice getting over your fear of talking to strangers and taking their photos. And also, if you're visiting a foreign country, try to learn a few phrases before you go there in their language. Things like, hello, I'm a photographer, may I take a picture of you? And again, some might say yes and some might say no, but that's all part of the game. Also, having your business card helps. And even if you're not a professional photographer, if people notice you taking pictures, just, tell them who you are and what you're doing, and be polite, and show them your card and show them your Instagram or your portfolio on your phone. And also ask them if they would like you to send them your photo that you just took. And if you feel like people are getting annoyed or feeling uncomfortable, just smile back and act like a dumb tourist. But whatever you do, don't act like you're doing something you're not supposed to. Don't try to be too stealthy and creepy. Whatever you think people might do or say, 95% of the time it's all in your head and most people won't care. So there were my 5 tips to improve your travel photography. I hope this is helpful, and let me know in the comments if you have any other tips or questions. And that's gonna be it for me today, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.